Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm really excited for today's video. I'm going to be updating you guys on my chopping block series that I started for 2021 maybe 6 weeks ago, maybe 2 months ago. I'm not really sure, but I'm here to update you on the products that I put in my chopping block. Hint, hint, spoiler, we are going to be getting rid of quite a few products today, which I'm really excited about. I brought so many new makeup items into my collection this year, and my makeup preferences I feel like have changed significantly over the course of the last like 6 to 8 months. So I'm really excited to kind of clear out space in my very large makeup collection, either to lower my inventory numbers or just make room to test out new things that I think I will like a little bit better. So if you guys are interested in seeing my update for this chopping block series, stay tuned. First, if you have yet to subscribe to my channel and you like project planning content, or you just like to chit chat about makeup, I would love for you to consider subscribing before moving on. And other than that, let's jump into the video. First things first, you guys, I'm testing out a new palette today. It's one by Violet Voss, the olive one, and oh my goodness, my eyes are a patchy mess. Literally, there's no saving this. I probably spent 50 minutes just on my eyes today. There's no saving this, but I needed to film and I don't have time to like take all my makeup off and redo it because that would just make me so crabby. So ignore the mess of my eyes today. I will probably come back with like a second round of chopping block items in maybe the next couple of weeks. But today I'm just going through all of the products that I had originally put in my chopping block series. So I have this little basket full of products, and I am going to be getting rid of quite a bunch of the things that I put in here. So let's start with these two products. When I posted my chopping block video, everybody, I swear, was like, girl, just get rid of the liquid lipsticks. So I really didn't even test these out. These have been in my collection for years and I haven't worn them ever. So why are they still here? I'm getting rid of both of these. One of them is from Galactic. It is the matte lip paint in Demure. And then I have this one from Give Me Glow, and it is their liquid lipstick in the shade Sweater Weather. I have a couple of deep vampy shades like this in my collection, and I wear them so infrequently or so rarely that I really only need one. So I'm just going to be getting rid of that. And then I'm going to be getting rid of my Dominique Cosmetics liquid eyeshadow in the shade Electric Soul. This just does not perform well. I thought that I was going to love it because of the shade. I don't ever really reach for liquid eyeshadow anyway, and I just don't feel like this lasts, and it really just is not something I'm going to reach for enough to warrant keeping this. So I am going to get rid of that, but I will be keeping, at least for the time being, my little e.l.f. liquid shadow. This is in the shade Mermaid Shimmy, and this is a really pretty green shade. I will say, usually to get the effect that I want, I do have to build this up a little bit on the lid, but it is kind of nice too in that I can sheer it out to not be as intense. I do feel like the lasting power is not the absolute greatest, but also I think it's better than the liquid shadow from Dominique Cosmetics, and I love the like shimmery effect that this gives to the eye. I think it's a fun pop. I have very few liquid shadows left in my collection, so I did want to keep this one from e.l.f. I have a couple of highlighters. Let's see, 2 that I'm keeping, 2 that I'm decluttering. So the 2 that I'm going to keep, I am going to be keeping my Buxom Wonderlust glow highlighter in White Russian. Using this a few times on my cheeks. I realize this isn't like my absolute favorite formula, but I do really like the shade. It's just not the smoothest formula ever, but I still really enjoy it, and reaching for it a little bit more frequently than I had been, I realized that I do want to keep this in my collection, at least for the time being. And then I'm also going to keep my Becca Little Mini Opal, and I'm just going to try and finish this up, probably not this year, maybe next year. But Becca obviously is going out of business, so I did want to just keep this one. I felt like I could actually get use out of this, whether it be as like an eyeshadow. This makes a beautiful inner corner highlight, or obviously I can use this as a highlighter. And then I am going to be getting rid of this loose one from Glamlight. This is the Sugar High highlighter, and I actually do like loose powder highlighters. I think that they can be really beautiful. But this one is just a little bit too glittery for my preferences. There it is, swatched right there. It actually would make, it's a little bit icy too. I was gonna say this could make a beautiful body highlighter, but I'm gonna declutter it. We're gonna get rid of that one. And I'm also actually gonna be getting rid of Cookie from Benefit. This is just icier than I prefer my highlights to be. It's a little bit more intense and it's just icier. Like, I prefer a warmer pink. I don't know if that makes sense. This almost is more of a silver than even like, it's just almost like a silver. I just don't like it. And I've tried to convince myself that I liked it because everyone was raving about the Cookie highlighter, but I just don't love it. So I'm not gonna keep it in my collection. Another item that I will be decluttering is this bronzer. I'm finally ready to do it. I'm finally ready to part with my L'Oreal True Match Lumi Bronze It Powder. So this is something that every time I tell myself like I'm ready to declutter, I'll use it again, and then I'm like, I don't know. But ultimately, anytime that I'm reaching for this bronzer, I feel like I'm reaching for this because I like have to use it in my collection, not because I'm super excited to reach for it in my collection. So even though it's not like a bad shade, even though I do like the product, I want to make space for items, or I want to reserve space on my face for items in my collection that I actually get really excited to reach for. And this just is not one of those products anymore, so I will be decluttering this. A couple more products that I'm going to be keeping. I am going to be keeping this Tarte blush in the shade Concept. I said in my video, I was like, I don't know why I even threw this in, because this actually is just a really beautiful blush. There it is swatched right there. This is like a blush shade that I actually really love. I think just because I got this probably as like a point perk or a free something or another, I was like, oh, maybe I can declutter this to decrease my inventory numbers, and I didn't like actually pay money for it. But that's just silly to declutter just to declutter, and I actually think this is a beautiful blush. So I'm going to be keeping that. And then speaking of blush, I am going to keep this blush duo, blush and highlight duo from e.l.f. This is in the shade Cantaloupe. And while this isn't a shade that I reach for on like an everyday basis by any means, I don't really love the highlight side, but I do actually really like the blush side. It is very unique to my collection. I don't have any other blush shades like this, and it's not something I'm going to be reaching for super frequently, but I do like to have this option, and I think it's just a fun change from time to time. So I'm going to keep that. And then I also decided I will be keeping my Rare Beauty Melting Blush. This isn't my favorite formula, but I do like this on days that I'm going for like no makeup, or if I'm just doing like a little bit of concealer and my Drunk Elephant Deep Bronzy Serum. I'll pop a little bit of this onto the cheeks just to add a little bit of color and a little bit of flush back. And I like it for those days. Not something I would repurchase or purchase in other shades by any means, but I am going to keep this for that purpose. And then the final product is one that I'm going to be decluttering, and this is from Jaclyn Cosmetics. This is the Blush Bronzer Duo. I have the shade Pink Me Up and Oh Honey, and I just don't love this as much as I thought that I was going to. The packaging is a lot bulkier than I prefer to store, and I just have other blush and bronzers that I would rather reach for over this. So even though I don't think it's a bad product, it's just something I don't see myself reaching for all that much. So there's really no point in me keeping this around, and I am ready to part ways with this. And after that, that is the end of my little basket. This was actually a really short video, just a little update on all of the products that that were on the chopping block that I was trying to decide if I wanted to keep or not. Again, stay tuned for another potential chopping block series. Eventually I'll go through, probably in September, I'll go through my collection again to prepare another declutter. I do plan to do like a quarterly, like a check-in at the end of September on where we're at for my makeup inventory, so I can see how much we really need to reel things in before the end of the year. But that is going to wrap it up for today. Let me know in the comments below if you have recently decluttered anything, or if there's anything currently on your chopping block. Thank you guys so much for sticking around to watch today's video and for supporting my channel as you always do. I love you guys so much, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye.